Hello and welcome to CSAP tutorial for beginners. I am Ajit Srivastava and this is part 16 where we will be continuing our discussion on functions. So if you haven't gone through part 15 where we have just discussed about the basics of the function, I would recommend you to go through part 15 first. So today we will be concentrating more on the parameters and the return type of a function. We'll see what is a recursive function. Okay, so I'll just give you a glimpse what is recursive function. Generally in interviews people ask, so I thought to add this. So with that, let's directly jump to code. So if you remember, this is the function that we have written in last session to get the factorial of a number. So that time what we were doing is, when main got called, we used to call this factorial function, and which in turns this function itself receives the number and it will gives the output, right? So but if you'll see the way it is written, right, whenever you call this factorial function, it will ask for a number on the console and then it will print the result in the console itself. But let's say we want to utilize these values, we just want this factorial function to just calculate the factorial of the given number. Okay, so to do that we'll utilize the return type and the parameter. So okay, so what we'll do is, instead of getting the input from user from the function itself, what we'll do is we'll have that here. Okay, so what we'll do is the main itself will ask the user to enter the number, then we have to find a way through which we can basically pass this number to the function. And how to do that? That is using the parameter or the argument that we can give to this particular function. So let's say one of the argument that I am getting as num. Okay, so in the same num will pass it here, right? So if you'll see here, we are specifying the type of the parameter that we are expecting, right? So it has to be integer parameter. If let's say instead of num, which is integer value, I am trying to pass a string, right? So it will start throwing an error saying that cannot convert from string to int. So basically the function that we are trying to call is expecting a integer value and you are trying to pass a string value, and which cannot be converted implicitly. Okay, so due to that reason it is giving error. So let's use the integer number. Okay, so another requirement we have is, we are now passing the number for which we want to get the factorial, right? But this function is printing the factorial within the function itself, right? We don't want to do that. I want this function to return that value so that I can utilize it the way I want, right? So to do that, what we'll do is return, it will return fact. So fact is the one on which the value is stored, the actual factorial value is stored, right? But as and when I am saying return, see it started giving error. What it is, let's just see that. So it is saying, since program factorial returns void, right? You can see here the return type is void, right? A return keyword must not be followed by an object expression. That means if you are returning, if you have given the function signature as void, means the return type, if you have given return type as void, you should not try to return any value from your function. Okay, so how we can achieve that? So now what we'll do, we'll change the signature of this function. We'll say, no, my function is not returning void, I want to return a integer number. So now you can see this fact we have. That fact is nothing but integer. We are calculating the factorial value and storing to the fact variable, and that is integer type which we are returning. So now the compiler error goes off, right? Now you can see here we are able to get the number, we are able to pass that number to the function. Function is able to calculate the factorial and return that factorial value, right? So at the time of getting this value, still will not be able to get the actual factorial value. To do that, what we have to do is, let's say I am having int factorial, right, equals. So what I am trying to do here is, I am having one variable which will store the return type of this function. So this function is returning integer, right? So that's why we have a variable here of type int, and what all the value that this function will return will basically get stored in this factory, right? So that factorial value of this num will get stored in this factorial variable, and next that you have to do is just have that console.write line, console.write line, just have the same. So factorial of number, they will use placeholder, this is this, which means num and factor, right? So there nothing is changed, right? You can give the parameter type, okay, and you can have a return type. So this is a function which is returning, which is accepting one parameter of type int and returning a value of type int. One thing you should keep in mind, like a function can receives as many parameters as you want, okay, but it can always return only one value, one type of value. So we'll just see another function which accepts multiple parameter and which will return just one value. It will always basically return one value, okay. So just let me try to run this. Enter a number to get the factorial, right? So as and when it enters main, it is asking to enter a number to get factorial. We'll press 4, enter, and you should be able to see the required output. Okay, so what actually we are doing, we are reading the value number, which is 4, we are passing number 4 here, then that number 4 will be copied in this variable, and then it will try to calculate the factorial of that, the same logic, and once the calculation is done, it will simply try to return that value to the calling function. So calling function is this one, right? So whatever the value we got from this function will get stored in this variable, and which we are using it to get the factorial value, right? So as simple as this, right? So as you can see here, the same program I have just pasted here for the reference. So it's just a simple, right? Now let's come to recursive function. So just learn the definition as a function which call itself is called recursive function, okay. So if for example, let's say if you have this program, you need to write a program to get the factorial, right? So factorial can be got using the recursive function. What is recursive function? Recursive function is a function which call itself, okay. So this is the program which uses a recursive function to get the factorial, right? So one thing that you should always take care during writing a recursive function is you should always have a statement from where your function will return some value rather than the calling the same function once again, right? So if you see here in this program, let's say if you have number 3, okay, what I am doing is, if number equal to 1, no, false, it will come to else part. So what it is trying to return is return number which is 3 into factorial of number 1, right? So let me just try to dry run this for you. So let me open just a whiteboard, okay. So if you see, let's say number we are passing as 3 here, okay. Now it will check if 3 equals to 1, which is false, so it will come to return 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1, which is true. So what it is basically returning here is 3 into factorial of, so it will be passing 2. So as and when this statement will get executed, it will not return simply here, it will try to call this function, right? So once it will call this function factorial by passing value 2. So this function will get executed once again, right? So if num equals to 1, no, currently my num is 2, so it will come to else part. Now only this portion, this fact of 2, what it will try to execute. So it will try to do is, so let me just drag this part, right? Now we are executing this part. So what it will do is 2 into, so again what it will try is to evaluate is 2 into, again it will call fact, right? Fact, and what this, it will pass the value as num minus 1. Num is 2 currently, so 2 minus 1, which is 1, right? So as and when it calls this function, it will not return and it will just go inside the fact once again by passing the value 1. Okay, so this time num got as 1. So we are processing this part now, correct? So now num will come once this function will be called, num will be 1. So what it will do is num equals to 1, and then it will return 1. So this portion will be replaced by 1, right? So this portion will be 1, right? Now as in when it returns 1, then control return back to this part, right? So control currently was in this block, okay? This block returns the value 1, okay? So as and when it returns value 1, control will reach to this block, right? So what was this block? So this block resulted to 1, and this is just 2 into 1. So result will be 2. So the entire evaluation of this function or this statement will result to u to 2, which is the output of this part, right? Because this part is resulted into this part, okay, and then this part resulted into this part. Due to that, the factorial of 2 will give you the value as 2. Now as and when it receives information of this part, it will return this value, then it will try to execute entire thing, so which will result into 3 into 2, which is 6. So in that way you will be able to get the factorial using a recursive function. So for now, maybe you will not be able to grasp the things immediately, but for now you just understand like what is recursive function. Recursive functions are those functions which calls itself, right? And some point in time, instead of calling itself, it should simply return, right? Otherwise what will happen is it will keep on calling itself. If let's say if I am not having this statement, right, what will happen is it will keep on calling factorial one in another function, right? So it will end up in calling multiple factorial in infinite loop. So there are two things that you should take care whenever you are writing a recursive function. One is a recursive function should call itself, then only it will be treated as a recursive function. Second one is there should be one condition which will basically break your calling of the function again and again, right? So due to that, you should have some condition like this, where instead of calling the same function, you will be returning, right? So this is what I had for functions. Please do subscribe, like and share these videos. Click on bell icon so that whenever I publish any video, you will get the notification. With that, thanks for watching. Have a good day.